Welcome to Morning Infusion with Dr. V, where we are intentional about connecting you with other entrepreneurs that have overcome and want to provide value to the audience. It's Dr. V here, where our coaching program teaches nurses to work from their computers anywhere around the world, making money and owning their own time. So our featured guest today is my friend, my colleague, Jamisha Rogers. So welcome, Jamisha.
Hey, Dr. V, good morning. It's a beautiful day down here. I'm just so excited to be here at VP Nursing today so we can have this discussion. I'm just in a really good place, so I'm excited that we can chat about it.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. So tell me a little bit about, um, like if you had to tell someone who you are, give us a bio. Give us a short bio.
Okay, so Dr. V gave a little intro, but my name is Jamisha Nicole. I have been a nephrology nurse for 13 years. That's my whole nursing career. I've been a nurse for 13 years, but I specialize primarily in the specialty of nephrology. As a nephrology nurse, I have had a variety of roles from staffing, direct patient care, charge nurse, clinical management, facility administration, nurse educator, travel nurse, and now I'm nurse entrepreneur and I'm clinical consultant. So I'm just excited to share my expertise here because the nephrology space is a very special space that really impacts the community more than people realize. And because of that, I want to be able to lend my support as a nephrology nurse in areas where I see a need for more support when it comes to the clinicians and the patients, because at the end of the day, it's one big circle. It's a revolving circle where one thing leads into another. And so they all have to be supported. And so that's where I come in with my background and expertise in that space to help renal companies to leverage their staffing and other things that are a priority to make the operations run every day.
Okay, so when you say it impacts the community more than we think, so tell me a little bit about that.
Roughly in the United States right now, there are millions of people that have chronic kidney disease and they're walking around, they don't even know it. And then there's a percentage that are actually on dialysis, and people don't even recognize in their communities how many dialysis centers there are. You may have a family member, a neighbor, a co-worker, a friend of a friend. Somebody knows somebody that needs renal replacement therapy or dialysis or a transplant or some kind of support because their kidneys have failed. And because a lot of people don't recognize it, they don't really know what the nurses and the clinicians that operate in that specialty really do and the impact that we have in the community in supporting patients that are either now getting dialysis treatments or transplants, or people that are on their way that may be progressing to that down that road. And so that as a clinician that's been in this space for a while, I've seen the impact in multiple facets, how kidney disease is rampant in this country and how more clinics are being opened, which means more patients are going to be sitting in chairs, which means you're going to need more nurses to take care of them, more staff to support those patients, so that there needs to be more support in that area as people continue to live longer and need those services.
So why do you think it's so prevalent?
I think it's prevalent largely because people are living longer, and because of the health concerns such as hypertension and diabetes. Those are the primary contributors to kidney disease and failure of the kidneys. And so the longer people live and the longer those things go out of control, more people are going to end up in that bucket where their kidneys have failed, and subsequently they're going to need some type of dialysis. And there are multiple ways that can be done, or some opt to get a transplant as well. So that is why we're seeing the uptick in the clinics being built, and the need for nephrology nurses and technicians because we need these centers to be ran by staff that can take care of the patients directly.
Sweet. So now what made you want to, so you're the CEO of Nephrology Nurse Leadership Network. Okay. So tell me what prompted you to say, I want to go into business to do this?
There were multiple things that prompted me, but I'll be very brief and share about two or three that off the top made it mandatory for me to step out on faith and do this. Primarily, I saw a need as that nephrology nurse coming up through the ranks. Looking in retrospect, as I grew as a nurse, as a clinician, I saw gaps. I saw gaps in the training for nurses. I saw gaps in the need for more nurses that were qualified to do the things that are necessary to operate a facility every day. I saw the need to empower patient care technicians, our certified nephrology technicians who are specialized in that direct patient care. I just saw the need for there to be a closing of the gap between direct patient care teammates and those in leadership positions. And I just saw the need to educate the community more and be an advocate for patients so that they can truly understand all that they have out there as options for them to, choose the modality for them and get the treatment that they deserve for that quality of life. So those were some factors in addition to wanting to own my own time, being that nurse in that space, being burned out, being working excessive amount of hours to the point that I was not having that balance. Sometimes we can't really have a complete balance in life, but when your work reaches into your personal space more often than you can control, then it's time for a change. And then when that impacts you physically and mentally, then you definitely need to do some things to adjust so that you can be a solid whole person in order to give your best to others. So those were the things that prompted me to step out and take my expertise and try to be the change that I wanted to see.
I love how you just mirrored that. Like you married that together. So you solved a problem because a lot of people think, well, I'm just going to go into business, but you have to have a problem to solve, right? You had that problem to solve. You saw what the gap was, and then you knew, of course, with your own personal life that you wanted to own your own time. So now tell me, once you walked that walk, right, into owning your own time, tell me how did you come about? So did you start looking for someone? How did that work?
Well, the first transition was I took that step of just owning my time as becoming a travel nurse. That gave me some of what I was looking for because at that point I recognized I could take contracts when I wanted, you
Okay.
know, do what I needed to do. But in that process of taking that first step, I got connected with other individuals who had empowered me to take it a step further, that I did not just have to do direct patient care to be fulfilled, that I did have value as a clinician, as a nurse leader, and that I could take those things, that experience and that knowledge and leverage it. And that is how I became connected with you, Dr. V,
So
and
please.
nursing and Black nurse entrepreneurs and some phenomenal women inside that group, in which you all kind of empowered me to tap into what I already had and have the confidence to put those pieces together and walk that walk, talk that talk, and do what I know inside that I wanted to do. And that has been very instrumental in helping me to transition from just doing the direct patient care, because there's nothing wrong with that, but it should be a choice for nurses. That's not all that we have to offer. And once I recognize that, hey, I can do other things and I am valuable and I can help patients and my colleagues and these renal companies, I can be a support. That was a game changer for me. Once I recognized, my eyes were open, that I could be that support system that I so needed at times. It really helped me to propel me forward.
So I want you to tell the audience about a time because what happened was you came to a meeting and because we have coaching sessions. So I became your coach, and after I became your coach, then you came to a session and you were extremely upset. and someone who you respected within the industry told you that what you were doing was something that someone else had already done. And a lot of times what happens is people come to that thought process, it's already done. Well, I mean, just because it's already done don't mean you don't add that special sauce to it, right? And so tell us about that moment when you came to that meeting and what were your thoughts?
So I reached out to a person that and I still, respect the person. People share their opinions. They don't know where I was at in that space and time, but an individual told me that it was no need for me to do what I was doing because dialysis companies already have their own systems and processes, and that what I was doing was not going to be of, a necessity, that nobody's really going to come looking for me and what I have to offer, and that I probably should pivot into another direction, which was very upsetting to me because it's something that I felt from the inside in my heart that I wanted to do. And I had that point began to put my all into making it happen. And so when that person told me that, it was like a dagger to the heart. It really hurts. It upset me, and it impacted me to the point when I came to the coaching group that day, I was in tears because I really start to second guess, is this smart for me to do this? Basically, they told me I committed career suicide and left the security of a corporate job and to venture out and do something that nobody's going to want.
Wow. And so, I call that the crab in the barrel mentality, the crab in the barrel mentality. And so, what I want to know is what happened on that coaching call?
So I came to the call. I was encouraged, um, highly encouraged. I left that call feeling better than I did when I got on there. And
Do you remember the words I said to you?
I was so emotional. You told me that what other
I,
people think of me was none of my business.
that part,
And you also told me that my breakthrough was coming.
that part. And how long did it take for your breakthrough to come?
The next class, I had a contract.
Exactly. Right. So, it's that crab in the barrel mentality. Like people will say what they want to say about us. And when we go into this nursing world, a business world, or wherever we are, like that is that frame of reference, right? That frame of reference is this is the only way that it is done. But the definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting a different result. And what you realize is that what we have been doing for so long is not working. That's the reason why we have dialysis centers working, picking up all over the country. It's because healthcare is not what it used to be. And so you had the contract. So tell me, what do you provide for the dialysis centers? So tell me.
So I do several things, but my most coveted thing is survey prep because it involves a lot. Leaders know what to do. They know exactly what they need to do, but a lot of times they don't have the capacity. Dialysis clinics right now are inundated with short staffing. They're stretched on resources, and so the survey prep is something that I do to take the load off, to make it easier for that clinician and that leadership team, because they know that someone that has the know-how is going to be that support system. So I come in, I do site visits. That's when I just check. I have a survey tool that I use to help the clinic identify areas of opportunity, and I help them identify areas of opportunity, and then I support them in educating the staff, coming up with plans of correction to correct those deficiencies and get in processes in place that will help them to operate efficiently every day. And so my client that I have right now, they have multiple centers, and they are very happy with the processes that are in place and the implementation of the plans that we've, put there for the staff and the patients. They're very happy with it.
And you've gotten a couple of contracts even after then, correct?
Yes, I've received several contracts. Now, sometimes when you get all these offers, you have to use discernment. So I've received multiple contracts. Sometimes things are like spot, you just helping a person a couple of times. Sometimes things are continuous, but I'm always getting opportunities to work with new people, collaborate and support them. Um, it's been great, and I'm always there to help and a resource. Sometimes people just call and they want to see what services I have, and then we just go from there. So it's been very rewarding to be able to offer these services and help the leaders understand where I can help them so that they can have that time back that they need to do other things that they can't delegate.
You know, and one of the things that I like about you is that you, from the very beginning, you did organic content. So for the audience, whenever you're doing organic content as opposed to ads, organic content is just when you're going out, you're doing lives, you're doing reels, you're doing whatever you need to do. You did organic content and you got a contract, right? Because
Yeah.
you understood what the problem was. You had seen the problem, right? And so a lot of times we get stuck in that I've seen the problem and it's never going to be fixed. But you said, I'm going to do this organic content. And how many days did you go live? It was 75 days.
75, that 75 days. Woo. But it was, that's how my client found me. They saw the lives. They knew me before, but they didn't know that I had a business at this point. And when they saw the lives, that was it. They wanted to proceed forward and had me as their permanent clinical consultant and nurse expert. So I'm really excited about that, because I was told that it wasn't going to be successful and I wasn't going to do it. And I did, and I'm continuing to do it. So it's always exciting to get those reminders that you can do what you want to do when you put the effort. You cannot let other people determine the trajectory of your life. You are in control of your own life. Sometimes things happen, it's not perfect all the time, but you work through the process. You fall, you stumble, you get up and you brush them knees off and you keep going and you make it happen and you make it better and you get that support system, which has been, I really feel that had I not had the support system from my friends such as you, Dr. V, Alviana, and B&E, and then my husband and my family, it's not possible. So you have to have that support system and that determination that you are going to reach your goals because that's what you want to do in here. You can't let people on the outside make you pivot.
That's right. That's right. So now tell me about some of what made, did you try to seek out any other coaches or I was the only
After I met you, that was game.
one?
Um,
Okay.
I did not try to seek out other coaches. Now, other coaches have put out things, little books and things like that I have, used as resources, and I give them those accolades. But because we all need resources, and there are an abundance of resources out there. But you helped me to understand what I needed to do to get that foundation, and being connected with VP Nursing has been instrumental to the continued growth of my company. It's not just a situation where I entered it and you're like, okay, you're up and running, bye. It's an ongoing support with genuine concern. And I really appreciate you that for Dr. V. I really appreciate that about you because you care not just about getting something from someone for your own business. You genuinely want those that you support to be successful. You care about us as individuals. And that right there is the key. Caring about people genuinely, it goes a long way.
Sweet, thank you so much. Now, one thing that I want to ask is with VB nursing, tell me one of the key components. Tell me one of the things that has really, really helped drive home for you your success. Because you were able to, like last year, you were working, you were traveling, you had pivoted into traveling, but now you don't work for anyone. You work for yourself. You work for your company. And so tell us one of the biggest keys while you were in the program that helped that happen.
I really feel like the support of the cohort, the family environment, the accountability piece, and the nurturing. The nurturing the foundation, just every week over week, the value that comes from being in that cohort. You never leaving empty handed. Never. And there were days, you come and some of us are still working, we're doing all these things. I will leave refreshed, rejuvenated, and able to refocus, knowing, okay, this is where I am today, but this is where I'm going to be at tomorrow. And these are the things that I need to do to get there. So having that support and that guidance so that I'm not out here in the blind trying to figure it out. Now I'm going to do the work, but I have somebody to help me to get from point A to point B, and with the resources to do it. That has been the game changer.
I think that one of the things that, of course, we have to say about you is that, number one, you have been absolutely phenomenal in doing the work, right? Because we can coach all day long. We can coach, we can do whatever we want to do, but it is the actual actionable steps. And so, I think of it when I think of coaching, when I think of going into business for yourself. One of the things that I know for sure that a lot, like some will give you mindset, some will give you practicality, but then you have to have the mirroring of the two, right? Because mindset will keep you moving. If you say, well, this is gonna, like you were like, this is gonna work, right? And of course you came to the call discouraged, but then I was like, oh, you just on the, I mean, literally, I didn't even think of it good. Like I was like, you just on the brink of your breakthrough.
That's exactly what you said.
And
That's
it's,
exactly what you said. And then the next time it's like, okay, I got this amazing contract.
and I mean, and literally we were clapping it up, right? Because you want to be in a community where people are genuinely excited for you to win. And I think that that's one of the values. And now you're on my team. And I love you being there and just providing that value yourself. It's like a give back, right? It's like that boomerang effect. You put it out there, it's coming back every single time. And that's one of the things that I like about you is you have delivered value to your audience. And now, like, you have a baby that's having a baby, right?
Yeah,
And because you have a baby that's having a baby, you're able to be there for your baby.
absolutely. That, being there for my family, being intentional and saying, you know what, I have this going on. I'm not going anywhere today. I'm going to schedule my work to do these things. I'm going to be available to my client in this way. I can communicate those things and get my work done, but still have my family as a priority, because let's be clear, as caregivers, we care. We want to be there. But it's nothing like caring for your own. You don't want to bypass your own going to help someone else. And that was one of the things that really drove the nail home for me when I made this decision in the first place to take that step, even to travel, because I wanted to be there for my family. As that dialysis nurse, I worked tirelessly for many years, in various roles. And sometimes my days would be long. I would leave and it would be dark. I would come home, my baby's in the bed.
Mm.
And my husband, he done already got him prepped. He done had a full work day, came home, got the kids together, took them to their doctor's appointments, because I might have been that clinical manager that had to work 16 hours and I got to drive an hour away from home. So those are the things that I experienced, and I loved what I did. And I have no regrets about doing it. But what I do wish that I would have done sooner was on my own time and did it in a way that I could have been there more for my family, because you cannot get that time back. But looking in retrospect, I know what to do now. And I try to empower others to do the same. And also, when I'm working with my client, talking to them about ways that they can help their teams to do that. Because when people can take care of home, they're going to give you all that they can, because their home is right, and they can have that peace of mind and that comfort knowing I can go and do my job to the best of my ability, because I've taken care of my priority, which is my family.
I love it. I love every bit of it because a lot of people look at money. And, and I used to do it too, right? I was that girl who worked that 16-hour day, right? And what I didn't realize is that time is more expensive than money is, right? You'll never be able to get time back. You'll be able to get money back. You'll be able to figure that out. And of course, profits over wages, right? Wages makes you a living, profits makes you a fortune, right? And so now you are in that profit realm. And I'm so super excited about you. I'm so super excited about where you are going. So, any lasting thoughts that you want to share with the audience?
Well, once again, I'm just very grateful to you, Dr. V, and I appreciate your support and everything that you've done to help me to pivot from that direct care nurse, that overwhelmed clinical leader, to someone that is refreshed and focused. And I have the zeal that I always had as a nurse. It's constant now. And I encourage any nurse or any individual that wants to pivot into entrepreneurship to definitely think about VP Nursing Business Academy, because it's a life changer. It's not just about a job and being able to say you have your own business, but it really has changed the trajectory of my family and where we're going and future generations to come. And I'm just really excited to see all the things not only that I have in store, but VP Nursing and the other ladies in the cohort in our community that are out here thriving and doing the same thing that I'm doing in their own way, in their own space. So that is my thing. Just take a chance on yourself. We wake up every day and we go out here and we work hard for everyone else. And I'm not going to tell you not to do that, because when you sign up for something, you need to give it your best.
That's right.
But do not slack on giving yourself that same chance. If if you have an idea that you want to be a business owner, at least explore it. Give yourself the benefit of the doubt and explore the opportunities and take that chance on yourself when the time is right for you, because you owe it to yourself to live your best life. And that's what I would tell anybody. And I'm so glad I did that.
Well, I am so glad you did it too. I mean, this has been, honestly, I absolutely love you. I'm so thankful for you. I will give you your flowers while you are living, because you have been absolutely an amazing part of the cohort, and not just the cohort, but of the team now. And so thank you, thank you, thank you. And now we're owning our own time. So gotta do it. You gotta do it. So we will be having a master class on how to become a nurse coaching consultant while working less and owning your own time. The date is July 5th, 2022. Okay. So details will be coming soon. So it will be from 6 until 8 p.m. On that evening. I ask that you like and share this podcast. And of course, if you want to work from anywhere around the world, making money and owning your own time, just connect with me, inbox me, go to my website, vpnursing.com, and we'll get you hooked up. You guys have a phenomenal rest of your day. Thank you.